Welcome to Here for the Story. I'm Shari.
And I'm Lauren, and we're coming to you from the quintessential small town of Oakdale, California. This is Here for the Story, a cozy podcast about books, creativity, and connection.
Each week we'll be sharing what we're reading, what we're working on, and chatting with authors, creatives, and fascinating people from our little corner of the world and beyond.
Today, we're very excited to be talking with author Camila Isley, and she has written and published over 30 books and is a knockout author of our favorite romance tropes and plot lines.
It is such a privilege to chat with you this morning on the podcast, Camila. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Before we dive in, do we want to do a quick check-in?
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead. So Camila, we do a quick check-in just of what we're drinking and what we're reading, and if you'd like to share with our listeners what you normally drink while you're reading or what you're drinking now, either way.
Right now I'm on water because here in Milan it's already 5 p.m. But my favorite drink is the caramel macchiato, and yes, and the chai tea, even if I don't like tea much.
I love that.
Chai tea.
And what is it you're reading?
Yes.
I am reading. I just finished an arc by Maggie Eckersley, Second Chance Saloon.
Okay.
And I loved it. It's a second in a series after Back in the Saddle. And I am reading Late to the Game, You with a View by Jessica Joyce.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Now
And I'm also loving it.
I love that. What is the coffee brand you love most?
Starbucks. I'm very
Starbucks.
basic.
Okay.
The bug.
Yeah.
I was only curious because you had mentioned you're in Milan, so Italy is known
Yeah.
for its coffee.
No, but I'm weird that way. I am American. Like, I don't like gelato. I want cookies
Okay.
and cream and cookie dough.
You want the
And
milk.
I don't want espresso. I want a caramel macchiato big. And so everybody teases me about that. But yes, I'm American inside.
I love that.
Well, we won't tease you around here.
No.
We're okay with that too.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
that. Do you want to? What are you drinking and what are you?
Today
drinking
I
today?
am drinking, I've got cold brew, iced coffee. We're actually a Pete's household. So we like Pete's coffee. We do the Breedy blend. And I just finished The Love Algorithm, and I'm also reading what am I reading? Oh, I'm finishing up The Hunger Games, the most recent book, which is Sunrise on the Reaping, which is I'm kind of going slow because the movie's coming out and I'm excited for that. But I loved The Love Algorithm, another one of Camilla's books. So I'm excited to chat with you about that.
Yay.
And what about you, Miss Shari?
So we know I'm a tea drinker. Today I have E14's mango citron, which is very berry mango-y-ish. Looks like red wine, but it's not because it's 8 in the morning. I'm reading, I just finished 2 of Camilla's books, Opposites Attract and The Heat of the Moment. And I loved them both, and we definitely will talk about them today. And I started The Ballad of the Falling Dragons because I needed a little bit to catch up on the When the Moon Hatched series by Sarah A. Parker. Yeah, let's get into today's questions. Does that sound good for you?
That sound good for you, my dear?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start you off. Camilla, I've been following you online. I found you through the book Heat of the Moment. I actually got to read that as an arc. I loved the book. And then I just went down the rabbit hole, which is your books. And you've written so many different books with different characters in different career paths. And you have consistently amazed me at how well you write these characters. They feel like they're actually in the career. I feel like I'm getting a taste of what it is they do daily, not just that they have this title, but that they're actually doing these job positions, which is so amazing. I'm curious, what is your research process for this, and how does understanding the character's career impact the plot lines?
Depending on the career, if you're doing something more technical or academic or engineering, I draw from personal experience since I'm a mechanical engineer. sometimes if they have like my dream job, like working in a chocolate factory, I just go full fantasy or what I would like my dream job to be. So they are in a small town and creating salted caramel bars, and maybe it's not the most accurate how they make it, but then you research how is chocolate made, where it does come from. I watch YouTube video on how to make chocolate, the process. And for the heat of the moment, I started being watching all of Chicago Fire and some reality TV on in LA about fire station and other YouTube video, basically. Yes.
I
That's
love it.
so fun. When you're making when you mentioned the chocolatier, does that make you super
Yeah.
hungry and then you wanna just start baking yourself?
Yeah, no, I can't have chocolate in the house. I would eat
Same.
everything. Yeah.
It's so hard to resist. I love chocolate.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
deep love of mine.
Yeah. Same.
How do you when you are in the deep in the research for different careers, are there some that you found that you're like, "Oh, that would be fun," or some that you've researched so you're like, "Oh, I'm glad I never went into that," or has it affected
Well,
you that way?
yeah, I mean, the firefighter really made me think these people are so brave, and, you know, they don't have a huge paycheck at the end of the month. Like, they are literally heroes that risk their life every day because they are good people. Like, it
Yeah.
was having to really immerse yourself into that. You maybe don't think about it, but yeah, they literally learn into burning buildings to save lives. So it's
Yeah.
that, I think, was one of the hardest. I had doctors also. They strike you maybe a little more than the. I don't know if someone is in finance, but I think I really like also looking at women being entrepreneurs, or maybe in fields that are mostly dominated by guys, and how you have to struggle. Maybe they look at you and they dismiss you right away just because you're a woman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It depends. Yeah, sometimes they're just fun jobs, like the chocolate one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
love that.
Yeah.
I really noticed that too in your book, in Opposites Attract, with the female attorney. It was interesting that you kind of captured it perfectly, where a lot of women in that field get labeled as being kind of bossy and cold and rude when they're just doing the best that they can do. And it really it was fun to see it peeled back and for him to see, how good she is at her job and how there is a lot of prejudice still for women in those types of career positions. So I really applaud you for bringing that in and showing like the really strong female leads because I think
Mhm.
that's really important.
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I love to make them tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very true.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that. You were talking about you read your books in English.
I think just curiosity, I don't have a specific reason why I'm curious about a country, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you think
America was my top. Then I think I had Mexico, Thailand, Egypt, Australia,
Okay. And you said last on
and
your bucket list is Japan?
yes, I don't have Japan on my bucket list. I really want to go.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't been from my bucket list, and
Yeah.
I would really like to go. Yeah, so many places, obviously, even in Europe. I mean, I almost don't talk about Europe because it's a 2-hour flight, so it's like going, I don't know, from Chicago to South Bend, more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
Like you don't even.
Well, I think California is amazing in the sense that it's so big. And so for us, 2 hours, you can literally travel 2 hours in any direction and just still be in California, which I think
Yeah,
Texas has the same uniqueness to it. I'm curious though, you mentioned when you were 16, you were able to come to California for a month. So
yeah.
how did you manage that?
It was a guided tour for studying abroad. So you
Okay.
sleep in a family and you go to school to learn English during the day. And then
Okay.
there's a coordinator that has to manage all the 15 teenagers on the trip. I don't know why she would do that. voluntarily, but yes.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, that's so fun.
And I did my college here at UCI.
Okay.
Cool.
So I was living in Newport Beach, living on my OC fantasies.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That
Yeah.
is
So I
awesome.
love California. It's dear to my heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's probably helped you know a little bit about the LA area in
Yeah.
your books as well, too, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Exactly.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's so cool. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Did you
And
have
when you do the abroad program, like my university would send students to all the universities of California. So you basically go to from Berkeley to Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, Riverside, San Diego, and you visit each other. So it's really fun.
wow.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
That is cool. And then did it help you make any contacts? Because you said you wanted to start writing for a while, but you wound up getting your degree. Did you make any writing contacts or mostly with your other career path?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
It was still wasn't on my mind. I
Okay.
didn't even take a writing class at the time. You know, I was full engineering and I was doing dance classes on my free time.
Okay. That's
So
awesome.
That's so fun.
yeah, I always been a reader, but I never thought about really writing a book until much later.
Okay.
Going back, I would love to take writing classes while I was there, you know,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah. We
no,
talk
at
a
the
lot.
time,
Oh, go ahead.
I wasn't thinking about making a career out of writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say we talk a lot about, especially on our podcast, switching careers. Lauren has had quite a few, and I have as well. And we feel so like we're where we are because of like it was meant to be where we are, right? But I think it's really fun to know the roundabout way that you got there. So
Mhm.
was there a moment for you where you felt like, engineering, I love it, but it's not for me right now. I really want to get into writing, and like kind of what gave you that extra push to do that?
Yeah, when my husband had to move to the States for work and I quit my job.
Yeah.
So I was in my little house in the woods in South Bend with nothing to do. And so I said, maybe it's time to write that book.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Were you in Bend,
Yeah,
Oregon?
Indiana.
Oh, okay. Indiana. Okay.
Yeah. And so I ended up taking a few writing classes online, you know, with Coursera and EDX. You can
Mhm.
take free classes from top universities. So I took a few of those and then I started writing my first book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I love it so much. My background, as Lauren said, is an attorney and went to school to become an attorney. And then I ended up coming home when I had my son and getting into illustration and art. But it's not something I went to school for either. And I wish I would have taken classes now after the fact. But it really shows something too, I think, of finding that passion that you wanna do and making it your job versus, like, going through school your whole life. I feel like you can maybe get a little burnt out on it. So, it's really cool to see, again, people kind of having a little windy path of where they're at.
Yeah. Well, I think, like, generationally, I'm not sure if it's like this where you are, but I think generationally, our parents got into a career job and they did it forever. And there's a lot of people nowadays that alt alternate that path and they don't stick with what it is they maybe set out to do in the beginning.
Yeah. But
I
it
think no one sets up to do an artistic career because they are the most uncertain. I don't know if you watched the Eras Tour documentary, but at
Mhm.
one point Taylor gathered all the stuff and says, "We are all in careers where everybody would have told us not to do it, like dancer, musician, singer." Writing a book, being an artist, I think it's the same thing. Everyone tells you if you want to starve, go ahead and do that. So most people come to it later, you know,
Yeah.
and it's not always that you go to school to study for that because everyone tells you it's not a wise choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's so
Yeah.
true.
So yeah, I think it's a lot
It's
of people come to it later.
yeah. That's such a great perspective, and it's so fulfilling. I love that. Well, I wanna ask
Yeah,
you
and it's cool that as writers and artists we can do even later in life. because dancing, like, you have to choose it or you don't make it.
Yeah, that's valid. Well, and your body gives out a little bit in a
Yeah,
way.
Yeah.
that's true.
What was the dancing that you were doing at the time?
Modern and contemporary and jazz.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Very cool.
I'm not a great dancer, but just Irvine is actually a really UC Irvine is actually a great school for dancing,
Okay.
and I would manage level 1 and 2, so I was enrolled on all the classes I could take.
Okay. I love that.
I like that too.
It was good. Yeah.
It's good to be well-rounded.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Go ahead.
So I want to talk kind of about Opposites Attract, which is one of your books that actually has a lot of reviews in the audiobook realm, which I thought
Yeah.
I listened to it and then ended up I just loved it. For our listeners who have not maybe listened to it yet or read it yet, it's a super fun story where the female main character and the main male character approach love from completely opposite ends of the spectrum and different professional perspectives. So one, the female is a divorce attorney and the male is a couples therapist. And as an attorney myself, when I pick up attorney books, I struggle sometimes because they're not really realistic. And Lauren was mentioning earlier, you just have this way of writing different careers so true to what they are, but also picking up on little subtleties that I think aren't really done in a lot of books that I've seen. My question, again, I love to go on a roundabout to get to the question is I'd love to know at what point that the pairing for a divorce attorney and a couples therapist kind of came to you, and if it was like, oh, one perspective first, and then you had to kind of figure it out on the other perspective. It's just so unique, and I love how you came about that. So I'd love to hear your backstory.
Um, sometimes it's just an idea when you think of office neighbors and you want to put it romantic and you think, what are the two worst careers that two people could have? Like exactly at the opposite ends of the spectrum. One person getting people divorced and one person trying to get them back together.
Mhm.
And because I wanted someone that could steal potentially clients from the others. So
Oh, that's
yeah, I
fun.
think it came sort of naturally.
I love it. Did you have background, like, research that you needed to do for that book as well? Like, did you binge what are their Law& and Order?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, actually, I think I had a book already in that series, and I just wanted, okay, it's a bit of writing to market.
Okay.
So I had two books in this series, and one was taking place on the same office floor.
Mm,
And I wanted to write a free book so that people would want to get into the series.
mhm.
So I had a startup on the floor, and in that book already I had teased these two people fighting between them.
Got it.
And so then I wrote the book sort of to give away.
Mhm.
But I needed it to be in an office because they had to be the office neighbors. So
Okay.
that's about how the idea came up. Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Seriously. Well, that's a great segue. I was going to ask, because you're in Europe. So, what is it like for you and your experience writing and publishing a book? Because I think in the States, maybe it's a little bit different. So, I'm just kind of curious what it's like over there, what your experience has been like from maybe even like your first book that you published, and then how far you've come.
Okay. My first book, I was in the States when I
Okay.
published. So self-publishing, there really isn't a difference,
Okay.
being in Italy or in the States. I think maybe I have it easy because I had all my American social security number and stuff while I was in the States. So I'm not an European that has to apply from here to there to then do all the tax documents. So
Mhm.
that was sorted because I was living there.
Okay.
Mm.
And the professionals you work with, you engage online. So the audiobook narrator, the editor, they can be in the US, in Canada, in the UK, but now with the payment methods that you can pay anyone in any currency, it's really just the same. The only difference is sometimes in Europe you get access to feature later. Like, for example, audiobooks, you can't go directly to ACX. You have to go to a distributor because they don't do that in Italy.
Okay.
But now, really, I wouldn't say there is much of a difference
Okay.
in how you do it. And the same doing with the publisher. My publisher is in UK. They have authors all over the world, in Australia, in the US, and I think more or less the process is the same for everyone.
Okay.
It's very connected now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, can you enlighten our listeners a little bit possibly on like a European edition versus US edition when they have those books and are you familiar with like we
Yeah.
can't access those, but you guys can access them? I'm not sure if it's the same from us to you
No,
guys.
I know what you mean. So it's more pertaining to super traditional, successful authors, Like if you have Emily Henry, you have the US version of the cover, and then you have the UK version of the cover. If you really want the US version, you have to go either pay a ton in shipping and order it directly from the US. Same with the UK. Now it is a disaster because it's not even in Europe anymore. So you just have to pay custom and order that version from that market specifically.
Okay.
There isn't an easy way to
That's
do it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I've
is
always found that fascinating that there's even
Yeah.
like a division at all with books because we get customers who will be like, "Oh my gosh, have you seen this beautiful edition?" Like I think it was Metal Slinger by Rachel.
Oh, okay.
Her European edition for Metal Slinger
Mhm.
was vastly different. And I want to say that one came out first.
The European version?
The European version
Oh.
came out in hardback before
Oh, okay.
ours did.
So she was a self-publishing author who went traditional, and
Mhm.
so I think her self-publishing was there, and then they ended up doing the traditional
Mhm.
in the UK
Yeah.
or Europe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a fascinating division. There's also, like,
Yeah.
times when a customer wants a book and I'm like, "I can't buy it." Like, they could literally purchase it on another site and have it shipped to them, but I, as a bookseller, can't sell it. It's the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was why,
But
I mean, I was honestly, that's one of them, like, I'm so excited to be able to get my hands on your books because
Mhm.
it's so awesome, so,
Agreed.
yep. Alright, do you have
yeah.
any?
Go ahead. Do you wanna say something?
No, I just wanted to say that sometimes even the publisher for super traditional authors is not the same in the US and the UK. That's also why they have completely different edition and management of everything. So
Yeah.
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 Right. Yeah. So I wanted to touch on the next book that Lauren introduced me to, The Heat of the Moment. And we spoke about it a little bit, but again, for our listeners, this is a killer firefighter romance between a widowed mom and a firefighter. And it has one of my favorite tropes of forced proximity woven into the story. And I guess with your other book, with Opposites Attract, there is forced proximity too, where they're in the same building. And I just think that that adds so much greatness to it. But when you are writing romantic tension, do you like to map out like the emotional beats ahead of time, or do you kind of discover it while you're drafting? Are you like a let's write this from start to beginning or to end, or you got the ending first, or how does your process work behind the scenes for writing that tension?
So I usually know the beginning and the ending. And then the middle is a bit of a discovery. The case of the heat of the moment was one of those cases when it wasn't a planned book, but you write a character in one book. So Lily is the sister of Josie from the previous book, You Rock My World. And, you feel very strongly about that character. And they sort of won't leave you alone until you give them a story.
Yeah.
And so she was so unhappy that I said, no, I have to write her a story. And then I thought, what is the meanest thing I can do to her? Make her fall in love with another firefighter.
That's hilarious.
I love it.
And I think this is the book that everyone has loved the most from me. It has the highest average everywhere. I cried the entire time I was writing it, honestly. Yeah, it's my most emotional book. And yeah, also because Josh is a total cinnamon roll. Sometimes I have my characters, I like them a bit of a beautiful bastards.
Mhm.
He's not. He's like a total hero, cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
And the conflict is real because his job is something that she cannot get over. And so, yeah, it was a really beautiful story to write for me.
Yeah. It is a
Yeah.
beautiful story.
Yeah. Well, I love that you said that too, though, because I think I've been reading a lot of books lately where they are that middle gray character where you kind of want to hate them and they do things that you don't really like. But he
Yeah.
fabulous. He's like top up there, book
Yeah.
Yeah.
boyfriend, the way that he responds to everything. And like you said, I totally can see how you would cry during it. I cried and we just filmed like an episode the other I don't know, a few weeks ago about mood reading and if there's ever a book that made you cry. And I said, I don't really cry a lot in books. This one I texted Lauren multiple times. It's making me tear up. What is
Yeah.
going on? It's just but it's so I love that you can write something so real that moves people in such a way that I just applaud you for it because I
Yeah.
think it's well done. And whether or not every emotional beat was planned out or it just kind of spoke to you, the end product was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, I have one more question as well. I'm curious where your favorite place to write is and if you have anything on hand that helps you get through it. So whether it's a snack or drink
Coffee.
or coffee or whatever, and where do you like to write?
Okay, so this is gonna sound weird. The most useful thing is when no one is at home.
That's not weird at
Valid.
all. Valid, valid, valid.
And right now, I mean, I have a desk upstairs and I'm on a mezzanine and I don't have a door, which I kind of don't like. But we are in a temporary house, so I write whenever I am. It's not really a big deal for me as long
Okay.
as I don't have distraction. I can pretty much, even if we go on vacation and I bring my laptop, give me a table, give me a plug, and I can write more or less everywhere.
Yeah. Is your
Yeah.
mind constantly telling stories?
Yeah. Sometimes I seem like spaced out if I'm having a whole plot twist inside my head. Yes, I
Mhm.
can. Yes, it's if you're a writer, you're always taking notes on your phone and
Yeah.
having conversation between characters in your head. Even when you dream, you never rest.
Yeah. I
That's
love
so
that.
relatable, though. I love that.
So the
And
book before the heat of the moment was a dream. I don't know. I had this dream where there was this woman that comes into a room and tells him, "Hello, stranger," and she cannot be with him. And I woke up and I'm like, who are these people? Why she can't be with him? Why he's so hot? And so I had to start writing the entire plot in my head.
I love
It's
it.
weird.
No, that's not weird at all. I think we would probably have so many more stories from people if they were like, "Okay, I'm gonna take it and put it on paper or
yeah.
put it to pen."
No, it's fun. Do you listen to, you mentioned the Eras tour. Do you listen to Taylor Swift? Do you listen to music while you're working?
No, I
Or-
I have to be in silence.
Mm,
Yes, no,
yeah.
I cannot because the words otherwise I get on hang up on the lyrics or stuff.
Mhm.
So no, it's total silence. Or if if there's a noise in the house, I put on Mozart. So it's
I like that.
classical
Yeah.
music. Yeah,
Yeah.
my
Okay.
dad was a great fan. So growing up, I always had it in my ears, and it's supposed to make you smarter. So any help I can get, I
Yeah,
use.
Maybe I need to listen more.
you do need just kidding. I actually got to go I did a study abroad program in Salzburg, and I went to Mozart's, like, childhood home, and it was so cool, and it's just so wild to think that he was so young and such a prodigy,
Yeah.
like, amazing amazing music, but
Yeah.
now I think I need to put on some classical music. I
Yeah.
listen to a lot of instrumental when I'm
Yeah.
painting or if I'm illustrating, but often if I'm working on a book cover or something, I'm listening to a book because at that point I don't have to think about words, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your latest book, Rein Me In, just came out. Can you tell our listeners maybe a little bit about it? Help them get excited because I know all about the storyline. I want to hear from you. And then also, are you going further down the cowboy era train?
Okay, so the idea again came from the meet cute in the scene. I don't remember exactly where. I just know I had this scene in my head with the single dad who's a cowboy who goes in all stubborn with his idea, thinking the teacher is talking him down, he talk her down, and then she puts him in her place. I like it. I love my heroines. Sometimes they tell me they are too strong, but I like them to put the men in their places when they don't behave correctly. So yeah, and that was the entire idea for the book. So immediately, I also like the men when they are put in their place, they can acknowledge that they were in the wrong and get fascinated by the fact that a woman called them out, basically, instead of being, put off. And so that was gonna be all the evolution of the story. And I wanted her to have a secret, which I'm not gonna say what it is. Um, and yeah, I am going to stay in that town for a while. So I dropped hint about all the other characters and stories. And I am fighting to have book 5 about the brother.
Okay.
So, but he still has to get approved.
Okay.
So if they approved it, book 5 is going to be another cowboy, friends to lovers. I hope so, because I love those.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want it to be a sort of this small town with when it feels like, the bar, the local bookshop. I have the book club that's gonna stay in the entire series. And now I just finished book 3 and I have all the guys joining the book club. And then it's so fun writing the guys and the girls discussing romance trope.
Yeah.
So I'm having like the best time with it.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I love that. One of my favorite things that you actually mention on your website is how when you like come up with something funny and you make yourself laugh. I
Yeah.
don't know that is literally I feel like I was like, I feel so seen right now because there's times when I do that and I'm just like, I'm hilarious and no one can even see how funny I am. So you put it into words and I thought that was a beautiful thing. So you are absolutely hilarious. I'm constantly laughing as I'm reading your books. I just love the characters and I love that I can like have that happy, joyful emotion. It's because some people I think look at contemporary romance and they think like Hallmark Channel, and I'm like, you can think Hallmark Channel all you want, but like this is way better. So I love that.
Yeah, agreed. And again, we mentioned it earlier, but the banter, the one-liners, the things that do just make you just laugh out loud are my favorite in reading. And to have you laugh and then someone else ask you, "What are you reading?" or "What made you laugh?" and then getting to explain it
Yeah.
is the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah. And if anyone is listening right now, I think I was mentioning that I just finished Love Algorithm, where there's a lot of Star Wars jokes in there
Oh, fun.
and Star
Yeah.
Wars comedy. My son was obsessed for years, so I was obviously on that road with him, but I found so much joy in their banter back and forth and their little Star Wars jokes. It was cute.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that book is my most beloved supporting characters, which is a droid. And
Uh-huh.
I had to make a case to have him in and keep, the the
Wait.
talking droid because it was already a few years ago. And my
Uh-huh.
editor was, "Are you sure that a droid could talk like that?" And I'm like, "If we are not there exactly now, we're gonna be for sure in 3 to 5 years. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be fine. No one is gonna say anything about the droid." The droid absolutely stays. It was like my dream scenes seeing R2D2. Like, I want a droid in my book.
That's so
Absolutely.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, now I need to read that one too. Shoot,
Yeah.
guys.
There's so many
Yeah, the droid is
there.
a droid with snark, a lot of snark.
Yeah.
Like the snarkiest character, I think, in all my books. So the droid is funny.
Yeah.
That's so
No,
fun.
he
Yeah.
is fabulous. Yeah.
And he has a cameo in another book because I couldn't resist. So
Yeah. Is there any other
yeah.
favorite characters you have along the way? You've written so many books.
Yeah, so Thomas in that book was another one that didn't have a story about him.
Okay.
So it's funny because what was supposed to be the third book in the series ended up becoming the second book where in another series where he makes the cameo.
Okay.
Because I had this idea about a marriage of convenience, but wouldn't work for Thomas. And Thomas in book one, it was like everyone loved it. I loved him. And so I said, yeah, Thomas, you deserve a book. You're going to get a book.
Yeah.
And so sometimes the characters I like that. Another one was, funnily enough, I have an archaeology type of book, an adventure roman, where
Yeah.
they go on a treasure hunt. And again, the best friend was always like, usually when I have either the brooding brother or the broody protagonist, I like to give them the best friend or the other brother who's the opposite, who's a golden retriever. So
Yes.
they continually tease each other. And usually I end up liking the sunny
Mm-hmm.
counterpart to the brood, to the grump, and usually they end up having books. And The Love Proposal, which is the book with the best friend from the archaeology book, I had him go with the character which was the most hated always in all my story, because she was a woman who cheated in 2 books before with the boyfriend of the best friend. So it
Okay.
was really hard to make her. So it was most beloved, most hated. Let's see
Yeah.
how they combine.
Yeah. Redemption
And
story.
redemption story. But it's difficult because I think cheating is like the universal thing that no one forgives. Everyone hates. Like there was a survey a few days ago, like, did he murder someone? Yeah, but why? Were the circumstances? Was it self-defense? And it's like, he cheated. No, he has no excuse.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. It's
So
true.
yeah.
So true.
That's hilarious,
Yeah.
though. That's true. And in fantasy books too, which we talk about a lot, there is that where, oh yeah, I'll kill someone for you, and everybody's like, that's okay. But then you bring that into contemporary romance, and he says, I'm gonna kill you, and then or I'm gonna kill someone for you, and everyone's like, oh, red flag, get out. Like,
Actually, lately I'm surprised by how not much it is like that. Because if you
really?
take in all the dark romance, all the mafia romance,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
have a lot of that also in,
Yeah.
I
True.
don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
those
I don't know.
small
I remember
little.
there was what is the
Yeah.
most famous the most famous about the serial killers. Like the disclaimer at the beginning says, if you're okay with accidental cannibalism, then you're gonna be okay with this
Oh
book.
my gosh.
So I was like, okay, probably not for me, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
It's true. And that's what I guess, getting at too, is even contemporary romance is a little bit of fantasy romance in the sense that, yeah, in real life, if someone came up, I've been married for 12 years, so I'm not dating anybody. If I was dating someone and they did that, I think it would very much be a red flag in real life. But in a book, you're right. It is
Yeah.
something that people are like, wow, okay, he's serious about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, no, and I wrote a book like that where there's a book boyfriend that becomes real, and
Uh-huh.
so she finds him in her bed,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
but he starts doing all the thing that a romance guy in a book would do. So if someone comes near to her, he starts growling, and
Oh
you
my
say,
gosh.
"Oh, we totally accept growling in the romance book. It's so hot." But in reality, you think, do you have a problem? Do you need
Yeah.
candy for your throat or
Yeah,
something?
it's so true.
And wait, what book
Yeah.
is that? I want to read that one now too.
It started with a book.
It
Yeah.
started with a book. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay, well, listeners, if you're into this type of
Yeah.
that's hilarious though. What a great idea. And I'm
Yeah.
excited to read that now too. Mila, I'm just gonna go down your list and read everyone, and then I'm gonna find a way to
Okay.
message you and be
Yeah,
like,
I think that one is my least liked. No one liked it
oh,
because
I'm
they weren't they weren't expecting the fantasy book boyfriend becoming real. So, but yeah, I love it. I think I make a lot of inside jokes on tropes and stuff. Like, he goes on a door and leans on the door and looks at her. Are you swooning? And she goes like, no, why should I be swooning? And it's like, I'm leaning on a wall.
Wait, that's so good. Maybe it just hasn't had its moment yet, but now it's going to.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, as someone who reads a lot with those tropes, I feel like I'm gonna check each one of them, and that's gonna be hilarious.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Here for that.
We're here for this story. Yeah. I don't know. I hope that there's a redemption. Maybe we'll see an uptick in the book.
Book club. Book club book.
Yeah.
I'm submitting for our book club. That's coming out. That's hilarious. Thank you so much for sharing about that.
Yes.
All right.
Hollywood.
Like a clapper?
Clappers.
Is that what it's?
Yeah. I don't know. Alrighty, my dear.
Do you want to do some rapid fires?
Are you ready for some rapid fire?
Yes.
Questions. Does it make you nervous?
Now I'm nervous. Yes.
No, don't be nervous. We've had a few people tell us, "Oh no, I'm terrified," or like they were one of a great authors that we spoke with. She was so sweet. She said, "I've been like worried about this all night," or something like that. It was pretty funny. They're just supposed to be fun and enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, calm your fears. It's just whatever comes to the top of your head. If you want to elaborate on that, that's great. If not, you're just like, this is what it is. That's also great. Whatever feels good to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to go back and forth?
Sure.
Okay. You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Which do you prefer? Annotating books or pristine pages?
Pristine pages.
Okay.
If I'm on a physical book, if I'm on the Kindle, I highlight everything.
Okay.
That's how I am too. And
I'm the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I want the paperback so that I can physically write and highlight. But in the Kindle, it's funny because there's actually quite a few highlights in your book where it'll say like 1,000 people highlighted here. And I'm like, is this really important?
I love highlighting in Kindles. And sometimes it's so many highlights that it's probably nonsense. That's probably left over from law school. I just highlight it all. Okay, your turn.
Okay. Friends to lovers or enemies to lovers?
Okay, I have to go with enemies to lovers because I like it when they fight. By friends to lovers is a second clause together with the second chance, because you have the characters that already know each other and there's a bit more of angst. But enemies to lovers, the banter is just too good.
It's so good.
You write it so well.
It's so good.
Okay, if you had a choice, would you rather write at home or write while traveling?
No, write at home.
Easy peasy. No one wants to write traveling.
Okay. Are you a morning writer or a night writer?
Morning writer. I mean, I'm generally not a morning person, but my brain is fresher in the morning and it gets more fried progressively as the day goes. So it would be impossible to write at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so this is something that's interesting that I don't think that we've had a chance to talk with anyone yet about. But so as you are in Italy and the culture is just so much different than here in the United States, a lot of times we're eating dinner at 5 p.m. But in Italy, I'm assuming you're not eating dinner at 5 p.m.
Okay, so I am a little weird in the sense that, again, we lived in the States a lot. And one of the things I loved was like go to dinner early.
Yeah.
So let's say in general, we are ruled by the school schedule, which starts at 8. So I'm up at 7 anyway. My son is at school at 8 and I start writing at 8:15. So that's normal. For dinner, we like to eat early. In fact, I think we love about being in the center of Milan is that if you go to a tourist place, you can have a pizza at 5 and it's perfectly fine.
Right.
And I am mad that my favorite pizzeria doesn't open until 7:30. And I'm like, why? But if you talk to somebody else, like they tell you, no, I don't eat dinner until 8:30. My parents are like that. So
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd
Yeah.
be so hard for me. I feel like I just am rage hangry hungry at 5
Yeah.
PM. My
Yeah.
husband's like, "It's okay if we eat at 6 or 6:30." I'm hungry by 5.
Now,
Yeah.
is it still common to like close? Because I think Americans, we kind of believe that there's a close down period in Italy, but
Siesta?
siesta time, and then in the afternoon. Is that still a part of the culture?
I mean, I think Milan is a bit different,
Mm-hmm.
as it's especially in the center, it is more international and it's more like 8 to 7 or 10 to 7.
Okay.
If you go to my hometown, yeah, probably everything is shut from 12:30 to 3:30, 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. I think it was
Yes,
like that
easy.
in Como.
Yeah, I mean, smaller town, if you're not in the center, yes, because not many people go shopping.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I miss most about the United States, honestly. Like, you have the 24-hour pharmacy and you have the 24 hours uh, grocery store. Here
Uh-huh.
is not that common and is inconvenient, yes. But
Yeah.
in Milan specifically, it shuts down at 10 p.m., the grocery store. So let's say that generally, if I have an emergency, I don't have it at midnight, so I can go buy whenever.
I
Yeah.
love it. That's awesome.
I like that too.
But yes, and you also previously we were living in my husband's smaller town, and like compared to my hometown, there is also a random day during the week when all the shops are closed, and it was different from the day that was in my town. So I would always go shopping on a Monday, and everything was always closed on a Monday, and I always forgot that Monday was a day no one is open. I was like, why am I here? Why everything is closed?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's funny.
That's
it's
funny.
like that.
Mondays are closed around here mostly too, except for the bookstore and
Yeah.
like one, maybe two other shops. It's a thing in a small town. I didn't grow up in this town, and so to have places closed on Monday is very confusing to me too.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but like for me, for example, was Thursday in my town. So for me, Thursday is not shopping day, and that is
Yeah.
normal. But you change the day, and I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense.
I love that.
me too.
Okay.
I'm gonna move to F.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite writing snack or snacks? This is like first come to your head that you would reach for.
I actually try not to eat or snack during the day.
I
That's
Yes.
do that
okay.
either time during the day. Okay,
I do
No,
nothing
because
but snack.
that's fine.
no, yeah, no, I try not to.
That's very good. I like
And I usually, honestly, it's I can't resist in the evening when I'm watching the TV. That's when I need something sweet, maybe a chocolate or
okay.
something. But if I start eating during the day and then also at night,
Yeah.
and I have my hands busy, and I get sticky hands if I
Oh,
eat
that's
anything.
true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm more a snack at night person.
Yeah. You're not like Cheeto puffs all over the keyboard kind of gal.
Oh, that makes me cringe. No, thank you.
Okay.
Mm.
What do you feel is one of the most underrated romance tropes?
The rated romance trope. I don't know because I think all of them are pretty popular.
We're not going to go back to the murderers.
Yeah, no, that's overrated. Maybe no, no. I mean, I don't know. I think I like. I would like to see more of the enemies to lovers, where they are really enemies for a big reason. Like
Okay.
how to end a love story that
Oh,
was
yeah.
like they're really enemies, and the reason why they're enemies is big,
Yeah.
and the conflict is hard to resolve, which is what I try to do with the heat of the moment. I would like to see more conflict that are really complex to solve.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Okay, this is kind of a silly one, but we'll make it unique to you. Normally I ask if there was a fantasy world that you would live in or if you're able to read at lightning speed, which one would you choose? But I think for you, because we're not talking fantasy, we're talking, well, it is fantasy still, it's still fiction, but if there was a contemporary world that you have written, would you rather live in one of your books, or would you rather be able to read at lightning speed and be able to read all of the books that are out there?
I think read all the books.
I like that.
That's how I feel too. It'd be so cool to read more books, but also when we usually ask this, it's about fantasy, and I just don't think I would exist in a fantasy world with dragons and scary
Yeah.
things that are coming to eat you all the time.
I feel like I'd love it.
No,
Or like
I've been fascinated with Middle Ages book or even fantasy when it's Middle Ages, But
Mhm.
if you think about actually living in the Middle Ages, I would freeze to death on day one. Like,
Right, and the modern
no,
medicine isn't there. I mean,
no, no,
we're
no,
getting
thank you. The
chicken.
smells, no.
Yeah.
Like the first book I wrote, I bought and read in English entirely was the Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett,
Oh, yeah.
which is amazing Middle Ages story, like one of my favorite book to date.
Yeah.
But yes, don't put me there. No, no.
Yeah.
And I don't wanna be
I
there.
don't want to live there.
That makes sense.
That's awesome. Can I ask the last one?
Sure.
All right. This is my favorite question. Everyone's heard it before. Do you believe in love at first sight?
No,
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love
no. Yeah, I think it comes more from the interaction. My husband and I didn't like each other the first time we saw each other. It was
Yeah.
like, ugh.
That's
Same,
awesome.
same. Well, and I think that's so in romance too, it just doesn't feel as realistic with love at first sight, but then they start growing and then they look back in hindsight and they're like, "Oh yeah, I loved them at first sight." But you're like, "But really, it's
I
all."
think it's more a case of chemistry at first sight, lust
Yeah.
at
Or
Yeah,
first
attraction.
sight. That's very that's very possible.
Yeah.
true.
Lust at
Yeah.
first sight, totally. But then you have to,
Yeah. Love
mm,
what you love about them.
you
Build on.
can get. I think you can get a vibe from a person. Like
Oh
we
yeah.
click in a way that's unique,
Mhm.
but then you have to develop it somehow into
Yeah.
getting to know each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I like it.
All right. So we'll get ready to wrap things up.
Sure.
Is there anything that you want to share about possibly any new books we can expect in maybe this summer, fall?
Yeah. So the next book after Rain Me In will be A Runaway Bride and A Marriage of Convenience.
Oh,
And is a billionaire. It would be again Enemies to Lovers, and it would be a fall book. So with all the pumpkins, the corn maze, and
Oh.
everything in
I
fall.
love it.
And I think, yeah, it's a fun one. Also, this one. And the next one, which I just finished, will be a second chance romance. So I have a lot of angst and unresolved feelings. And
Yes.
they're all gonna be in the same town. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay. Do we have titles yet?
For the next one is Fall for Me, and the next one, no, it hasn't
Okay.
been
Not yet.
approved.
Perfect.
But they're both up for pre-order everywhere, I think.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a place that they can go to your website to pre-order or a specific link for you?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, CamilaIsley.com, you generally find all the information. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is some of the best ways for our listeners to support you in your writing journey as an author? What's the best way to support you?
I think just buying the book, borrowing them from the library. If you read an arc or have a copy, leave a review somewhere.
Okay.
Talk to your friends about it.
Yeah.
And I also love to say, if you have to order online, to use bookshop.org
Okay.
and select a local bookstore. So the
Yeah.
part of the margin goes to the bookstore. I think it's so important, and I'm trying to shout it everywhere. If you
Yeah.
shop online, shop on bookshop.org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are amazing company. That's for sure.
Do you have any sort of author events coming up that you want to share about?
No, I'm it's difficult for me to do events
Yeah.
from Milan. So yeah, no, I don't
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
okay.
Perfect. Well, maybe we'll have to ship you out.
Yeah. You can come back to California and hang out with us.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. We'll see if your husband's okay with us stealing you away.
Yeah. That would be fun.
With all the cowboys.
Yeah.
You'll come during rodeo time and we'll take you to see all the cowboys.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. We really appreciate it. And we, like I said, are really excited about the books that you have coming out, but also I'm really excited to dive deeper into the books that have already released and share with our friends. And we might be doing a book club
Yeah.
book of yours in the future, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm going to convince everyone in book club.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It was amazing to talk with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and if anyone has any questions or comments or ideas for future episodes of the podcast, you can reach out to us at hereforthestorypodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
We're going to link all of Camilla's books and her website in the show notes and find all the different ways to find her. What's your Instagram handle again?
I think it's just Camila Isley.
Yep. Okay, perfect.
But
And
We'll link that in the show notes too.
Yep.
So don't worry about it.
Yep.
yes, Camila Isley.
Perfect. Everyone can find
Without
you.
a space or a dot or anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love it. It's easy. That's easy.
Perfect.
All right, Shari, do you have anything coming up? We're going to be releasing this in July. We'll be reviewing Remarkably Bright Creatures with Book Club
In July, yep.
on July. And then right now we have crafts and story time on Tuesdays. And then some book bingo that we've just started up
Yeah.
in June and going through July. So I hope everybody's enjoying their reading. I hope everyone can pick up some of Camilla's books this summer. They're great, fantastic reads. And thank you again so much for spending time with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes. Alrighty.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We'll be back soon with more stories, books, and the things we're loving lately.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time.
Until next time, happy reading.
Happy reading.
Bye.
Happy reading. Bye.